everyone, welcome back to my channel, Boss Mom. Today I am going to be canning these beautiful pineapples right here, and I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do if you're new to canning or don't know how to can. I'm actually new to canning. I'm not a master by a long shot. I've probably been doing it for about maybe 5 to 6 months now, so yeah, I'm not the master of it, you know, but it is fun to do as long as you're doing it safely and you follow the guidelines and rules for canning. So first I'm going to start off by showing you. Okay, so these are the things that you're going to need to begin canning. I'm going to be canning in quart-sized jars. I just like bigger jars for my fruit because I like to eat a lot of fruit. But I have the wide mouth and I have the regular size mouth jars. So you're going to be using the jars. You can also use pint-sized jars if you want as well. You're also going to need the lids for the jars, and I'm sorry, the lids and then the tops for the jars. Then this is to measure how much from the top. I don't know if you can see those numbers. So that's to help you measure at the top, you know, how much headspace you have. And then this part is to also help you with the debubbling, getting the air out of the can when you put your stuff in. You're also going to need these jar grippers, and you're also going to need a funnel to help with less mess. You don't have to have it, but it's just to help with less mess. I also use this ladle spoon. You can use any spoon, but I like to use the ladle to pour inside. It makes it easier. Then over here, I have me a 23 quart size pot that I'm going to be using to water bath can my fruit. You don't have to pressure can fruit. You can water bath can fruit because it has a lot of acid in it and fruit. Then I also made me a little syrup, which I don't usually do. I like to just let the pineapples create its own syrup. But this time I wanted to try a little syrup. I put 4 cups of water to half a cup of sugar in here. So not a lot of sugar, just half a cup of sugar and 4 cups of water. Right now I am heating up my pot. I'm going to sit my jars in there and let them heat up. You do want to sanitize your jars, clean them, or wash them, which I did, but I like for them to get a little bit warm. So when I'm processing them and I'm pouring in the warm syrup, I like to go into a warm jar so it doesn't shock the jar and it breaks or cracks or anything. So I'm going to be peeling the pineapples and cutting them into cube size. Usually each pineapple is like a quart. So 4 quarts, 4 pineapples, unless it's a really small pineapple, then of course you need a couple of pineapples to fit in a quart. But yeah, I just go by how many I have that's how I know how many quarts I'll need. So now I'm gonna start peeling them and chopping them up so I can put them in the jars. So right now I'm getting ready to put my jars inside the canner so they can get hot or warm. All right, so now I have my jars inside of the pot so they can heat up a little bit, and it also helps to sterilize it. Also, I forgot to mention, you want to make sure you put enough water inside of your pot that will cover your jars at least an inch above. So you want to have enough water where they're covering it at least an inch above your jars. And also I also add white vinegar. I say about a tablespoon of white vinegar inside of the pot, so it'll help with the cloudiness so your jars don't get so cloudy. Okay, so now it's time to move on to chopping up the pineapples. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I love this part. Get me a bowl. So I like to wait until mine start to turn a nice yellow color because they're a little more ripe then. And you can smell it. It smells so good, so sweet. So you wanna first start off by grabbing the top part of the pineapple and the bottom, and you just twist it. And it comes off just like that. Some people or gardeners, they like to save this part and try to regrow their own pineapples by using the tops. I don't think I'm going to do that because they're starting to look kind of old, and it takes like a couple of years for you to actually get a pineapple. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not trying. I do not have a pineapple core that helps you core it easier. So I just cut it with my knife the old-fashioned way. You see that part right there? That's part of the core, or either a back. I think it's a core. Yeah, that's part of the core. So I'm just gonna cut that piece out. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking the jars out. You always want to make sure when you start canning that you start your water so it's warm or hot, or not hot, but warm. So you want to have it on like a medium heat just to get it, warmed up. So that way it doesn't take all day for your water to get hot once you get your jars in. That's one. Also, I forgot to mention, you also need to let your lid sit inside of hot water. So it's kind of boiling. I didn't mean for it to get to boiling, but it loosens up. It sanitizes the lids, but it also loosens up the lids. So, they're more pliable and easier to fit the, it's a little bit heavy, to fit the jar, the lid properly. It loosens up that little seal on it. So I'm pouring me a little bit of vinegar inside of this little bowl to use to wipe the rims of my jars to make sure they're not sticky. Before I apply my lids, because that will disrupt the sealing process. So you got to make sure that your jar lids are clean before you seal them with the lids. So now I'm going to add a little bit of this syrup to it. I don't want to put too much because... Okay, so now I'm just going to take my pineapples and put them inside the jars. Make sure you have clean hands. And I also want to make sure I'm not overfilling it so it doesn't go over the headspace, the inch headspace. So now we want to check and make sure that it is at the 1 inch right here mark. So you want to sit it on the lid at the 1 inch mark and just make sure that they're up under that. All right, we're looking good. Okay. All right, so what you want to do next, you want to take your, if you have one of these, you can use this, or not, you can use a butter knife. But you want to take it and put it through on the sides to get any air bubbles or space out that will create air bubbles. I'm going to get my lids. So now I'm going to transfer the jars to the pot and pour my little bit of vinegar in there to help keep the water from getting cloudy. You also want to make sure you have something at the bottom of your pot because you don't want your jars to bust. They can't sit directly on the pot or they'll crack or bust open. So make sure you have something at the bottom that will prevent them from touching the pot. Make sure I get all of that pineapple pulp off, pineapple juice off. Make sure it's nice and clean. So we can have a nice tight seal. I hate when this happens. This little thing never wants to stay down. Oh, so hot. That's my garbage can. Let's hurry up and get the other ones. Weird noises. All right. I'm going to let these process for 20 minutes at my altitude. There we go. So they should be ready then. I'll be taking them out of the pot. You want to listen for a roaring. You want to listen for a rolling boil. That you tighten the once you start hearing that rolling boil, then if it's like sounding too much, you can turn the heat down a little bit. But you want to have that rolling boil sound. Then you can start your timer for the 20 minutes. And then when the 20 minutes come, I'll be taking them out then. Wait a minute. Oh, you're gonna hold the lid down. Finger tight. Hold the lid down. Finger tight. All right, so I am done canning these pineapples for today. I want to let you guys know. Okay, so I'm going to let these process for about 20 minutes. And also to check to make sure the lids are sealed, you can just press down. And you don't want to hear any popping, on the lid. Also, if you can hold it by the lid and it doesn't come off, it's sealed. But these pineapples, you can sit on the shelf and they'll last you for 18 to 24 months. About 2 years you can have pineapples, just sitting on the shelf. But yeah, I've had so much fun today doing this. I can't wait to eat them. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here because I have to go get my daughter from school shortly. And I want to thank you for joining me in this video. If you haven't already, also, I'm sorry. Make sure you label your lids. Make sure you put what it is and the date that you made it. So when you sit it on the shelf, you'll know what the expiration date is. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Make sure if you haven't already, you subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up and share if you like. Thank you all for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. 24 hours, I should say. I'm sorry. It looks so nice. Let me turn the camera.